So when I first started this class of digital ethnography, I didn't really understand exactly what ethnography is, but for the articles in the learning, I was able now to know what it is, and that is ethnography is the retelling of lives of people. It narrates rites and tradition, and understand and explain cultural practices, as explained in the audience ethnographies. And there are many ways to gather this information, and the most common way is through participation and observation. And one article that really helped show me how this was helpful was Margaret Mead's Coming of Age. And in this, it showed how, like, in her first research project, she was basically lived outside of the village, and she was only friends with the girls, and she came in for her research purposes, so she wasn't fully immersed in that culture. And it did show in her writing in that she didn't really fully understand exactly, and her informants didn't exactly feel comfortable about talking some of the stuff because they feel like she was more of an outsider. And so for her second research project, when she went to New Guinea, she really actually did immerse herself into this one, and overall her ethnography and her knowledge of the culture really expanded for that immersion because she was able to take part in the culture, and the natives were able to see that she was really interested in seeing exactly what they did, and then so she was able to learn more about what it is about that culture that makes it unique, and was better able to understand exactly how to explain it in her writing to the audiences that don't really understand exactly what that culture is. And so the video Doing Anthropology really broke down how that participation operation was really helpful, and it explained that by taking part in it, you can really understand exactly how it is that maybe some people do what they do that you wouldn't get just through your own observations. Though observation is good, as was explained in the TED Talk, that it helps you can see connection, especially if you observe over time. You can see patterns observing or coming out, but it doesn't help you explain maybe why these people do it, or maybe why they do it this way instead of another way. And so by really taking part in it, the three scientists in the Doing Anthropology video explained that it helped gain them a better understanding of perhaps why they do it. They understood like the feelings and the emotions of that culture better. And so that really helped them come up with more specific questions they could get in order to get a more informative answer. Instead of having to ask a lot of questions and you aren't really getting the information you would get, they're able to ask more specific questions in order to get the information they needed. And then once they got all that information all gathered up, they were able to put that into an ethnography. And the Vulnerable Observer really helped me explain how to kind of make these ethnographies. And they say the best way to do it is through, of course, presenting all the information, but if you can make your own ties into it through your own experience, this shows the audience, and it gives the audience a chance to connect with the writing, and then through that writing to that culture, because they're able to see a connection there that they normally wouldn't have. So like with the culture, it's new and foreign to them, so they can't really may not be able to fully understand it, but if they can see the author's experience, which will be more of a first world thing that they can easily relate to, it helps them be able to relate to that culture and give them that chance to really gain a further understanding of it. And so by getting that further understanding, it can also give them more of a whole systems view, and so they can see how each culture is related, and it's not just one culture does this and so they're completely different from us, but they can see, oh, this thing that I do is similar to what they do, and then it gets that whole system, be able to see the whole system, how each part plays into the culture, and how each culture plays into the whole world of things going on today. And also through this gains that better understanding. And then as you make the ethnography, you can then make a digital one, which is even better because you can connect more information to a smaller space. So through hyperlinks and helps with the audience to interact with it, so they can gain more information on a certain subject, and they can leave them more articles through the hypertext, and through that interaction it helps get the learning experience better. And so through this class of being able to read all these different articles, some of them just like the basic information and others on the actual experiences, really helped me make connections that I probably normally wouldn't have. And so I was able to gain a further understanding what makes digital ethnography digital instead of just a literal ones. Yeah.